Today's episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. My guests don't just come to DRL for me. They also come for the cocktails. Luckily, my friends at Hella Cocktail Company have my back. These guys make amazing mixes, from Bloody Mary to Margarita to Moscow Mule. They also make cocktail bitters, my secret ingredient, and now yours too. It's easy to feel like the best bartender in town when every bottle comes with a simple recipe on it. Hella Cocktail Company, bold flavor, real ingredients, hospitality. Mixing it up since 2011. Shop the collection on Amazon Prime or use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tennesha Wood. So I'm super fresh off Hawaii. Just got back last night. I'm not even back home, actually. I'm in San Francisco now. And Chris and I was like, if we are this far over, we might as well make a whole trip of it. So we're actually in the Bay for my friend Vanessa's wedding. P.S. The episode that Vanessa came on, I asked her if she was planning on marrying that guy. She was a little shy to answer, and guess whose wedding we're going to?
Boom, there it is.
DRL, we're creating weddings.
All day.
All day, every day. And I have one of DRL's favorite guests with me, Chris Valentine.
What up, DRL?
How you doing?
I'm great. You know that.
It's been a while. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Why haven't you been on DRL? People ask for you and about you all the time on DRL. So thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Always, anytime.
So today we're going to be giving a little bit of update on us and then also answering some listener questions. So this should be a fun episode.
Let's do it.
How did you like Hawaii?
Hawaii was good. I mean, Big Island is where we were. We flew into Kona, and it's a big volcanic rock. Thankfully, the place that we stayed in Hilton Waikoloa, which
they're not paying me, so I'm not sure I'm giving them that plug.
Hey, listen, if you're going to go there, it's one of the nicest places to stay.
Okay, so here's how I felt about Hawaii. I thought it was beautiful, but I have to admit there was a moment where we both looked at each other like, so it's just kind of like one big volcanic rock. Okay. Cool.
Right. Great places to eat, though.
Oh, my God. We had the best Mexican food I've probably ever had, or at least top 3 in my life in Hawaii.
It was top 1 for me.
Really, it was the best you've ever had?
Yeah.
Like on some, baby, you my everything.
You the best. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Top notch. Better. Honestly, and I hate to even say this publicly, but it was better than the Mexican food I had in Mexico when I took a long excursion, and then they take you to like their auntie's place in the middle of nowhere, like an hour out in between that and like where the excursion takes place, and it was good. But this was fire.
I would actually go back there just to stay near the place and probably eat there again. But I'm one of those people, as you know, like I remember a plate of food. I have a picture of it, and then I'll show that plate of food to everybody like, you need to eat this.
Yeah, no, I mean, we drove around the whole island. So that was the first thing. Got the black sand beach. That was nice. And a lot of really cool, down to earth places to eat. Really chill vibes everywhere.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
So as my boyfriend, I do feel like it's just sort of one of your jobs to take pictures of me when we go places.
And I do.
You kind of seem like at some parts you had like a little bit of like an attitude about it. I'd be like, here, just take a picture of me. And here's the thing about when I'm with my girlfriends and I say take a picture of me, they understand what that means. And if I have a tag sticking out, or if like a hair's not in the right place, or if there's like somebody walking in the background, they're like, oh no, hold on, somebody's walking. Oh, let me get your tag. Oh, let me fix your hair. Like they get what I mean when I say take a picture. And I feel like stuff like that would happen. And I'd be like, can you do it again? And then you kind of had this look like you were doing it, but you like, I don't know, like you were almost like, I didn't come here to take pictures of you.
Whatever, dude. That's not even anywhere near the reality of the situation.
No, when we went to the Black Sand Beach, you seemed like you were irritated taking pictures of me.
we hadn't even gotten to water yet. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to.
I didn't want to get my hair wet before certain pictures.
See, I don't know all those details.
Now you know. Dun, dun,
Maybe.
Dun, dun.
I don't know. You had your own self-imposed rule that you announce before we go out how many pictures I'm responsible for.
Well,
and I went above and beyond by a factor of at least 2 to 5 times on certain days, and it's all good. And we did a lot of selfies. I'm rejecting this whole statement.
Well, I was holding
it down.
Here's the thing. So me and my family usually go on a vacation to Jamaica over Christmas every year. And my little brother has been very clear over the years. He'll be like, how many pictures would you like today? And I'll be like, 20. And he's like, no, I'm going to do a max of 15 pictures. And then he literally will count how many photos he's taking of me. So I like have to use my photo credits wisely. So I was trying to be just as judicious with Chris, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to require at least 20 pictures today. So, but when I say 20 good ones, like,
you know, like a bad spades player, you put too few out there, and then we had too many books.
I don't know how to play spades, and you know that.
I know that.
You just wanted me to admit that. I get a lot of questions about you and I and where we're at. And the thing is, 2019 has been a hell of a year for us. Like, trying in a lot of ways, a lot of different locations. And I get a lot of questions about where we're at with marriage, the 21 days, etc. So let's talk about that for a bit. Let's talk about 2019.
Yeah, I mean, 21 days was more like 21 addresses.
At the end of last year, we made it to the 21 days finally. And things were really great last year. And then I feel like 2019, it didn't take a bad turn. It just took a lot of curves and unexpected turns. And I feel like we're just both now getting our head above water with all the changes that have occurred.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on.
So,
moves.
So like, first of all, at the beginning of the year, and I talked about this on a previous episode, but at the beginning of the year, Chris had decided to move his business to Puerto Rico, and I decided to take a job in Dallas, Texas. And I have since regretted that move. And you know what? I'm actually going to admit something that I don't think I've talked about before, but I did that for the wrong reasons. I moved and took that job for the wrong reasons. The reason I told myself was that this is a really great opportunity. Like, I'll try something new. This will be good for you to get settled in Puerto Rico, sort of get, you know, the new company ramped up and have your time to do so. But I think the real reason, if I'm being honest, is that I didn't want to lose my independence in a way. And I felt like upping and moving to Puerto Rico with you at that point was, I don't know, losing a sense of Tennesha and losing a sense of independence. And I've never done that before. Like, I've never sort of given all of it up for somebody else. And I just it wasn't that I wasn't ready to do that with you. It was just, I pride myself. Like, the biggest thing about me is that, like, I am independent. I do not need anybody to do anything. Okay. I could do. And that was that same sort of attitude and mentality that led me to take that job offer. Because I've had many a job offers over the years, many like good ones, like ones that pay a lot of money. But at that point, I was just like, I'm just not ready to give it all up. And so then I took that job, and boy, the second I walked through those doors, I was like, girl, what have you done? Abort. And, but I stuck through it for a couple months. And then, like I said on a previous episode, I just was like, I am so unhappy. I am away from the man I love. What am I even doing here? And so then I promptly moved to Puerto Rico. And now I'm in Puerto Rico, and Chris has his business up and running. And I think now we're just sort of restarting life in this new phase. Overall, like, how are you feeling now at this point in 2019? We're at almost the end of the year. Like, how are you feeling now about going into 2020, just overall?
I feel good. I mean, at the end of the day, I live on the beach again, which was a major life goal. I'm working with people who I like 100%, and we're all in growth mentality. And a lot of the hard work is actually paying off as like a collaboration. So like my hard work, my other partners' hard work, some of our people who work on our team's hard work, and so that feels good. And now that you're on island, it's all coming together.
I am super proud of you. Like our relationship, I think in 2019, like I said, has been through its fair share of ups and downs. So it sounds so cliche, but just we had to live life in a different way than we were both used to.
Yeah.
I think for the first 2 years of our relationship, it was very much like we did everything together, literally everything together every day. And it was a very consistent pattern. And it was nice, I think, getting to have that time. I almost think of it like a mother who gets to stay home with her kids until they go to school. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're just not ripped away from them right away. And it was great. And I think now, with the move to Puerto Rico and when I moved to Dallas, it was sort of like, okay, it's time to get back to work, which is a huge transition. But it's been crazy to see the amount of stuff that you've accomplished this year just since moving to Puerto Rico. You have worked your ass off, and it shows. And it's been a sacrifice for you and for us. For me, what I'm learning is a lot of patience. A friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, once said to me, Ten, you're not very strategic.
Oh, wow.
And the truth is, I'm not. And the reason that he said that was because he said, there's a place and a time for things.
Not that you're not. You haven't been.
I haven't exercised that muscle.
Exactly.
And what he meant by that was that there's a place and a time for things, right? And the way I've always operated was the place and the time for things is right now, right? And so if I'm having an issue, if I feel a certain way, if the sky is changing colors, like I don't wait for a specific time to bring that up. I'd be like, hey, issue right here, right now. And I think with you starting this new business and like doing so much and it requiring so much, I've come to a place where I've really built up my patience, and like I'll say things to myself like, this isn't a good time to bring this issue up because he's doing X, Y, and Z. So I've become a lot more strategic in thinking about the overall wellness of us versus how I'm feeling in a single moment, which is huge for me. Because again, when something's happening, I'm like, oh no, this needs to be talked about right now. I don't care what else is happening.
And it was a two-way street too, right? Because during the Dallas time, which was months, right? There was the same thing from your side. Like there was a lot of time, effort, energy, and pressure on some of the things you were doing, and the milestones and the timelines on how it had to work, and just the amount of preparation that went into it, and just having so much constantly hinging on the next thing that needed to get done kind of was the same thing. And, from my side, I think maybe some of that strategery, for lack of a better description, might come somewhat easier. But at the same time, being a part like that had its challenges in that sometimes when you're together, even if we had the same kind of workload, you can, give someone a quick hug.
Right.
You can, wink while you're on a phone call and blow a kiss. And that's way different than waiting till 9 p.m. Central Time to do a FaceTime. And then like I needed that hug at 3:58, right before, when the first one call ended and the next call's about to start, or you're about to leave to go do an interview with somebody, or someone's coming by to do an interview, and, kind of get that reassurance, get that sort of validation, whatever is needed at the time in real time, that just can't really wait till,
right
after the workday and after the business drinks or after the coaching session that happens at whatever time. And so those things were the big difference makers for me, because you start stretching days together where you don't have that when you wake up, while you're eating breakfast, in the afternoon, in the evening, and then maybe everybody's busy and that night the call's short or people are exhausted. And then you stretch a couple days together like that, and then you start wondering, like, what's going on? But, like, nothing's going on. You just don't have the proximity that really created some of the sort of things that you need to make things chug along in the right way. And I miss that.
I think there's some people that are built for like a long distance type of relationship. And I just don't think either one of us are that person. Like, I like my space, but like I like, like I like to be like, we can still reach arm's length, but just to not even be able to do that, I think that was just rough on the both of us. But and
it starts creating arbitrary thoughts and ideas, and then things that aren't something become a concept, and then the concept becomes like a question of like character or intent, or and then that idea becomes something bigger, when the reality is we're just not in a flow and a continuation of our interaction that is suitable for who we are, especially for me. And I know, like, we've had conversations about this where it's like, is the reality just that, the way I'm built, I'm just not meant, or I think I'm not meant to be alone. And I don't think that's actually the case. I think I'm meant to be in the presence of the right person.
Right.
And so
I'm the right person. No.
Yeah. I mean, like I've always said, like, I always felt like every relationship that I've had, like, I felt like I knew it was going to change my life. I knew it was going to change their life. But this is, the first relationship that I felt like not only will we change each other's lives, but like together we can change many other people's lives and like, have an impact on the world.
Since you said we could change the world together, let's get into some listener questions and maybe help some people out.
There it is.
Actually, I think this one is super relevant to what we were talking about before. So this one is from Dave. Oh, no, that's not the one from Dave. Okay, hold on. This is the one from Lena. So Lena says, my boyfriend of 2 years got a promotion in LA. We are from Houston and he wants me to move with him. He is convinced that a long distance relationship won't work because he's done it before and it's ended badly. I'm happy for him and proud of him. I just don't want to leave my life. My family is here and I like where I'm at in my career and all of my friends are here. Is it worth leaving? I mean, is it worth it? You tell me.
Even if it's just a little bit in the back of your mind, you should, throw it out there. I think it's a good thing. But only you will know the following: whether or not the hint that long distance hasn't worked in the past and isn't something that's on the table was a sign or like a hint, or was just like a encouragement to move, right? And you'll only know that based on the context of all this. But if it was kind of like a we'll see what happens, like do what you're going to do, then it's pretty tough. But if it was like a real big encouragement for you to move, then you can at least know how the statement's being posed to you. If it's being posed to you positively, then that's a much different stance than if it's being posed to you like, I'm waiting for you to be the one to break it off, not me. But only you'll know that part.
They've been together for 2 years, so that's kind of a while. The major question is this a relationship where you're just seeing where it goes, or is this somebody you actually want to be with in the future or possibly spend your life with, right? If you're just seeing where this goes and this is like a cool person, it's a cool dude, you like hanging out, like you have a fun time together, maybe it's not worth leaving your friends and family for. But if this is somebody you're actually committed to and you see a future with, like, your friends and family can come visit. You can go visit them. There'll be other jobs, but like, you only find so many people, and I mean so many, so little, that you actually have a connection with and that you actually fall in love with, if you're lucky. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like jobs come and go. Like, you could find a job in any city, but like true loves, if you're lucky, come along once in a lifetime. So if that's who that person is to you, I'd follow that versus a job that I can get in any city.
Right. And the counter argument to that is, if it is somebody that's just like, we're hanging out, see where it goes, you know, it kind of reminds me of something Tennesha was mentioning that her mom said. Like, one of her friends asked Tanisha's mom, Miss Sonia, shout out, you know, like about their friendship. And her mom was like, friendship? That ain't my friend. He's like, she got friends. She can get friends anywhere. I'm her mother. There's only one mother. And so if you're really just kind of hanging out, feeling it out, you know, you only get one family, you know, right? You only get one mom. You only get one dad, one, you know, kind of suite of, you know, cousins. And so if that's something that you take a tremendous amount of comfort in, and this was really just an option and not like a foregone conclusion on what y'all going to be, then, you know, you can progress in your career and be with your family and be happy. And, you know, like she said, you know, only once in a lifetime do you get to find the right person. But if this was just an option, then they could just be standing in the way of you actually finding that right person. So this might make sense for you.
And the other thing too is, I mean, I don't know what your career is or what your job is, but is it something you're truly passionate about, or is it just something that's paying the bills for right now? So I guess in any case, is this the man that you really want or you're passionate about? Is this the job that you really want or you're passionate about? And whichever of those things you can answer yes to, follow that. If the answer is both, you'll find a way to make both work.
Yep.
Also, I did long distance for 4 months, and I can say truly, I won't do that again.
Facts.
After 4 months, I was like, I mean, even before that though, babe, like I've said that to people, and I've been like, I don't think long distance relationships works. I don't think people should do them. And having done it for only 4 months, I stand by that. Like, I don't think they're how we're built as human beings. Like, I think we're built for connection, for togetherness, for touch. And I just don't think it's a sustainable way to do something, to do relationship.
Most of the world's population lives in villages, right? It's like family, clan, village, you know, smaller set of villages. Like, most of human existence has existed in that format. Like, people aren't living halfway across the world and maintaining ties. Like, you're meant to be in close quarters. That's
why I only really like doing in-person interviews.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't feel connected to people when we're on the phone. Like, I like to see you, feel you, like, understand, you know what I mean? Look into your eye. Like, it's different. It's different. So this next question is from Dave. I was in Vegas for my cousin's bachelor party, and I met a woman in the club, and things went too far. The issue is that I'm engaged. I have never cheated in the 5 years that my fiance and I have been together. I have not seen or spoken to the woman in Vegas since that night, but I feel so guilty, and my fiance says that I've been acting strange. Like I said, it was a one-time thing, and I don't want to risk my relationship over something that has no bearing on my life. Should I tell her or just keep this to myself?
Whew. Well,
I say tell her.
Yeah. I mean, you either decide, I don't know when this happened, but however long ago it happened, you can either have that long of a lie or a lifetime of a lie. And so I'd always say you should opt for as short a time as possible to none. So you can't really build that next level of foundation without mucking through the reality.
This decides what type of marriage you're going to have, right?
Right.
So this is how you start your marriage. So do you want to have a marriage of honesty in which people can make mistakes, do better, and own up to them and talk about them and communicate about them and understand them? Or do you want to start a marriage of lies? I know women, because I am one. If she already thinks you're acting weird, she's not going to let that go. Like, women will be like, you're acting weird. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I will find it, whatever you're acting weird about. And now you're going to completely ruin the trust when she finds out versus you telling her. She's going to hate you either way, but she's going to hate you for maybe a little bit of time if you're honest. And I'm not guaranteeing that. She might hate you forever too. I don't know. But you risk losing all trust if she finds out versus you telling her. There's going to be a little bit of trust, maybe. There's a possibility if you tell her, but if she sees something in your phone or hears it from one of your friends at the bachelor party or something, like you're really risking a lot. So I would tell her, because the cover up is always worse than the crime. Always.
I concur.
Yeah. And also the thing is, like, you could affect her health. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the scenario here, like what exactly went down with you and the Vegas chick in the club, but like, did you guys use a condom? Like, could she possibly end up pregnant? The best thing you could do at this point is to just come clean and be upfront and ask for forgiveness and hope that she does. But you know what's crazy, babe, that I've heard from some women?
That they don't want to know?
That they wouldn't want to know. And I can't wrap my mind around it or comprehend it. Like, I just would rather live in the light.
Right. I mean, yeah. Even if it's a mistake or it was an accident or you were completely out of your mind, like, better to just dump it out there. Hope for the best.
Yeah, 100% agree. So,
Good luck, Dave.
Dave, tell her and ask for her forgiveness. And don't make up any excuses. Just say flat out, I messed up. Like, not I messed up because I was drunk. I messed up because I was in the club. I messed up because there's no because. You just messed up. Point blank, period. And own that, admit to that, and ask to be forgiven. And don't do it again.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, because if you do something again, you're not actually sorry. Like, then that's not a mistake. That's maybe part of your character. Like, if you do something once, you realize it was wrong, then I was like, I made a mistake. Let me not make that mistake again or do everything in my power not to. But if you do it again, then that becomes part of your character, in my opinion.
Yeah, after a while, it's a pattern. So
yeah,
it's tough.
Okay, next question. This one is anonymous. Why you gotta be anonymous? You remember that song? Name that singer. Here it is. Hold on. Why you gotta be anonymous? Hold on. I wanna know your name, your name, your name. Why you gotta be anonymous?
Ooh, tough one.
I don't want to get weird, but when I sang that just now,
oh Lord,
did it sound like I could, I don't know, possibly sing? I'm not saying like a career, like make it big, but maybe in like some lounges here and there.
You know, Vegas is always looking for people.
Okay, I have to tell you guys a story.
Oh Lord.
Before I read this question. So when I was at the bachelorette party for the wedding that we're going to this weekend, we were just listening to music, sitting around, and a song came on. And a lot of people tell me I can't sing. It doesn't stop me, but a lot of people tell me I can't. But a song came on, and I was just singing. There was like 20 plus women there. And the woman next to me goes, "Oh, I didn't know you could sing." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, I guess I didn't either." And I move on. I keep singing my song. And then the woman to the other side of me says, "Oh my gosh, like you really just hit that note." And it really did something for my confidence. And so I called Chris the next day and I just said, "I just want you to know that there's people out there that think I can sing. And I just maybe have been listening to people who said I can't all these years and not fully honed my craft and my ability. But I could hit a note here and there. I'm not a Whitney or a Mariah, but I could maybe be like a Sierra, you know?"
I mean, she could sing too. Let's not get it twisted.
I want to know your name, your name, your name. Why you gotta be anonymous? Did you feel that?
Who sang that song?
It's Bobby Valentino.
Oh, throwback.
Yeah. But the song I really hit the notes on was candy coated raindrops. You're the same, my candy ray. You're welcome. Anyway, on to the listener question. So this one is from Anonymous. Tennesha, help. I think I've hit my boiling point when it comes to online dating. I'm on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, OkCupid, and a few others. You name it, I've been on it. I'm burnt out from doing it for so long, and I have not been meeting men. There is either no connection or they are subpar. What am I doing wrong?
Well, first of all, you should probably take some screenshots of your profile, send them over to Tennesha, maybe get going with a little one-on-one. But I don't know. Right now, it seems like the energy is off for how it feels every time you kind of go into the apps or do your swiping or your researching. And I guess OkCupid, you can do more kind of searching. Maybe time to just like take a break from it, readjust, see, you can turn around how you're feeling about going into it on a time by time basis. And see if like putting out a different type of energy when you are doing it comes back to you. Because if you feel like it's not working and you feel like it's a drudgery every time you start doing it, that's probably what's going to come back to you. So maybe a nice little break.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a job the way that she described it. Like, right. I'm on this, I'm on that. I think dating is one of the funnest things. Being back in San Francisco, like I'm literally sitting downtown and I'm just looking out at the buildings, and being back in San Francisco is bringing so many memories back for me from when I first started dating here and just how much fun it was. Like I would do random things that I hadn't done before, just like walks over the Golden Gate Bridge or hanging out in Sausalito for the day, or just like random restaurants and going for a walk on the beach and going to hiking in Muir Woods, like all sorts of things, but it was fun. And the reason at that point for me that it was fun was that I didn't feel any sort of pressure. Like I wasn't like, I need to meet my husband on this app. I need to have a boyfriend on this app. It was really just like, I moved to a new city and I really just want to see the city and have a good time. So any date that I went on, I would suggest something fun. And that was the objective. And did I end up meeting my husband in San Francisco while dating? No. But now hey babe, hi. But for me, the purpose was just to have fun. And I think when you're in that space of just wanting to have a good time and meet new people, you naturally put forward that sort of energy. You know what I mean? And people feel that, and then they reciprocate that back to you. And so a lot of the people that I met here, I met these people and I was like, I don't want a relationship with this man, but I want a friendship with this person. I want to be this person's new restaurant buddy, like whatever it may be, but I had fun. And so just take the pressure off whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So if the whole goal here is I want to meet a husband, change the goal. Change the goal to I just want to have a good time and meet cool people, or change the goal completely and get offline and make it, I just want to have a good time with me. I just want to get comfortable with me. Like the best place we can be at in life is where the people that we're around is because they're people we want to be around, not because we have to or because we're looking for anything from those people. And until you get to that point, spend as much time with yourself as you can so that you don't need that. It's nice, but you don't need it. You could just hang with you, have a fun time with you, love who you are. And then that's what you start attracting just automatically on or off an app. When you love you and people see that, like they want to be around that and they're very attracted to that. So I would say 1, take time off the apps and hang out with you. 2, when you do get back on the apps, change the goal and make it about having fun and exploring.
Yeah, I agree. But step 1, recalibrate. Get your energy right, and everything else will flow from there.
What would you say was like the best date you ever had from an app?
I think the best date I ever had from an app was Actually someone who I'm still friends with now, but we went to a really nice sushi place. Not because I was like trying to impress or anything like that, but their profile kind of said that they were like a big foodie and like liked kind of doing that stuff. And I had this list of restaurants that I just needed to make it through, because I had them checked on my Google Maps with the green flag. So I needed to do it. And so what better opportunity to do that and also have a chance to meet someone? So had like a really amazing conversation over however many courses of sushi. And, to your point, like when you were, dating in San Francisco, you're like, I might want to be this person's friend. I might want to be their hiking buddy. I might want to be their food buddy. Like, so I ended up, having a friend who, we still trade each other really great restaurants to go to. That was really awesome to me. And it was pretty clear that there wasn't going to be like a relationship there. But having a friendship come out of it was super dope because at least until recently, that probably lasted longer than all the relationships I've been in, or equally as long, at least getting up there in a number of years. And then, B, it was like no pressure. You've met this person and think they're cool. So like, it's just one of my favorites. And it didn't have anything to do with like ending in some kind of relationship.
You know what I think people do that is just really a detriment to all of us? Like they go out on a date, they'll immediately make the determination about whether this person fits into their life romantically or not, or with their romantic goals. And then it's a yes or no. And then if it's a yes, then they go hard. Like, okay, so what's next? And if it's a no, then they're like, oh, goodbye. See you never again. Where I think if we treated online dating more as like a friendship app, things would develop a lot better, right? So if you go out and you meet somebody that you think, not for me in a romantic way, but you were still honest with that person and you said, though I'd really like to have a relationship and that's my eventual goal, I don't see that for us. I really had a good time on this hike with you. Like, would you want to go hiking again? But you were honest about that. Like, you didn't lead them on to believe anything other than what it was. Like, you never know what can come out of that sort of interaction. That person might then be like, yeah, I see that too. I feel the same way. I have a friend you might like. You know what I mean? So like, you never know. But I think now we're sort of in a disposable society where it's yes or no. And I'm guilty of that myself. I remember doing that exact same thing at times when I felt like, okay, I want more now. Okay, I went out with you. It's not going to work for this. But goodbye. Like that was more so my New York phase. In San Francisco, I was a lot more open than when I got to New York. I was just like, okay, goodbye. This is not going to work. But I think like we need to see those gray areas more, and you've often said that there's more gray area than you give credit for.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just about changing your expectations of things and largely just reducing them, because having such finite expectations sort of limits your ability to see what's actually happening, because you pre-program yourself to be looking for a certain thing. Mm-hmm. And then if that's not unfolding in front of your eyes the way you imagined it, you might not see what's happening at all. But what's happening could be great.
But you block yourself off.
Even if it could be great, not along the lines of what you were looking for, like sort of more like a friendship or a food buddy or a hiking buddy, or it could be actually great along the lines of what you're looking for, but not in the way that you sort of romanticize it in your mind. And so now you're missing the whole thing.
Yep.
And you're not in the moment. You're living in a forecast of the moment and not the actual moment. And when it's not hitting what you forecast, you're like, everything's off. But really, it could be perfect. And so I think it's just like sort of being mindful of having too many expectations, too many preconceived notions, too many sort of like immediate responses. Kind of having these checklists could be really horrible, because someone could have X's instead of checks on your list, but then really be the person that's made and meant for you. But then you're sort of using an almost arbitrary list at some level to determine something that's like way more than arbitrary.
Right.
And just got to be mindful and try to have as little expectations as possible. Obviously, respect is never something that is fungible.
I think that the two things that people really respect are communication and honesty. So even if somebody doesn't like what you're saying, if you're being honest about it, people are attracted to that. So if you go out on a date with a guy and you're just like, he was all right, but he's not for me in that way, communicate that. I think in a obviously nice way. Like, I think you're a cool guy. I'd love to hang out with you again, but I don't see anything romantic with us. Let's grab a drink sometime. But I think what happens is there's sort of a fakeness in dating where people do this thing at the end of a date where they'll go, yeah, I had a really great time. Yeah, let's do this again sometime. Then that person calls like, when you want to do this again sometimes? Why is he texting me? That was the worst date ever. And it's just like, let's just be real and authentic with people and honest with them. And like, that will bring so much more.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just say that? Like, why is it so hard to say to somebody, you're not for me in a romantic way from what I've seen today or tonight, but you're still a person worth having in my life in some capacity, or I still enjoyed this thing about you. But we lie like, this is so fun. Don't ever call me again.
It's not hard for me. I always had done that.
Have you ever said to a woman, like straight up after a date, like, I don't really see you in that way, or this wasn't for me in that way, or I didn't feel a romantic connection to you?
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
When did you do that?
Many times.
How do you do it? Like, let's pretend that you and I went on a date.
No, because the thing is, it's not like a line. It's not like just something that I had crafted to say. It would just be something real. Like, I'd say something like, as it mentioned on my thing, I'm not seeing anyone exclusively right now, and I am dating, but I'm probably going to spend some more time with some of the other people that I'm dating. So I don't know if we're going to have a chance to hang out again, but I appreciate you doing whatever.
That was such a polite way, but like, I was pretending that I was the woman that you were saying that to, and it did kind of hurt a little bit.
Well, I mean,
it's
not meant to be.
No, I appreciated the honesty. That's the thing. I so appreciated it, but like, it stung a little. But at the end of the day, I appreciated the honesty more than I would have you.
But it would always be still an offer to hang out under different circumstances. It's like, oh, by the way, you mentioned that you like to do X, or you're going to be in the 10K, right? It's like, hey, let me know where your peoples are going to be hanging out, and like, maybe if your peoples that are going to be coming to watch you and like the people who are coming to watch other people are going to be hanging out, we can all hang out in the same place and like do something after the 10K. Because like, I'm going to be there for supporting whoever I'm supporting. So like, it might be something.
I'm going to
be
there supporting the other person I'm dating. No, but I'll clap for you too. Wait, Chris, was that a real life situation?
Yes.
Something about that felt real. Something about that felt like there's a girl I like running, and there's a girl I went on a date with, but I want to support everybody.
I mean, yes. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I appreciate the honesty. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, there was not like a line or anything. Like that was like a real example, one that could come to mind. I don't have like 5 because I didn't dwell on remembering those things. And most times people didn't necessarily want to, follow up on that. But sometimes people did, and it was all good.
All right. Well, this was good, babe.
Thank you.
That was good advice. I think we gave some solid advice today. Is there anything else?
Yeah, 2019 was a great year, and there's still more left. It was challenging, but it's also good to know that you can make it through challenges.
That's real. That's real.
There's people out there that are still dealing with the same challenges for a quarter century, and they don't live it every day. But when they do live it, it's because they didn't run it to the ground the first time. And that probably makes it harder up front, just like that conversation we just talked about. But over the long run, it'll make it a lot better.
I forget which rapper said this, but he said, you got to go through something to get through something. Who said that?
I don't know if those were the words, but
if
they were, I don't know.
Is there a similar line that you know?
Well, they're always talking about how like artists, you can't, they do their best work when they've had pain and struggle and suffering.
No, but the line is, you got to go through something to get through something. Or maybe it was off a movie. I don't know. Anyway, that's the lesson of the day. You got to go through something to get through something.
Right.
Well, thank you for coming on today, babe.
Thanks for having me.
You're always welcomed and loved on DRL when you come on. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on today. I love you. And I love all of you. And thank you for listening today. And please reach out to me at Tennesha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And let me know what you think of today's show. And also, if you have any listener questions, feel free to send them my way. Slide into my DMs. I'll always write back. If I wrote you a love letter, would you write back? Yes, I always do. So please reach out to me and let me know what you think. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.